Games in this podcast range from E to M.
Hey everybody, welcome to the official Xbox podcast, the only podcast coming to you from inside Xbox, or in the case of tonight, outside the Game Awards 2025. We are here, hi Tina, in downtown LA, and I gotta say, it feels like the center of the gaming universe.
Absolutely. This is one of the biggest, most exciting nights of the year. Such a good way to rein in the end of the year. We get to be here together in Los Angeles. We get to reminisce about some of the best experiences and memories of this past year and celebrate with nominations coming in just all across the board.
Associated Press, New York Times, Games Radar, the BAFTA nominations just came through. There are a ton of great games that are nominated across Xbox.
It's such a celebratory evening, especially for tonight. We have 10 nominations across the Xbox teams. And actually, we've got some of the talent behind the studios here with us today to talk about those nominations and what the year has been like. And who better to help us kick that off than head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty himself. Well, as we are here today talking and thinking about 2025 and the games of the last year, Matt, I would love to know what stood out for you, especially amongst our teams in 2025.
Well, it's been a fantastic year for our teams. I'm just really proud of what they've delivered, and it's a great moment to celebrate everything that we've delivered in the last year. You know, we have had such a wide range of games, everything from something like Keeper from Double Fine all the way to Call of Duty, something like South of Midnight all the way to Minecraft. And for me, what's neat about the last year is that some of these games start out as a real singular vision, right? We sit in a meeting and I'm pitched a game about a walking lighthouse, okay? And okay, we're going to lean in, and it turns out to be something really cool. But there's such a thread there of one person's vision of what they had. And then we have other games, which are these big ongoing franchises like Call of Duty and Minecraft, where you have hundreds or even thousands of people that work to deliver these. And that is such a coordinated team effort. And I just, I love what our teams delivered this year. And I love that we've got that range of everything from Keeper to Call of Duty and just so many different teams that can execute on that.
Yeah, let's talk about this exceptional output for these teams this year. Yes, there's been a lot of games, double-digit amount of games, but that breadth of, when you look across the portfolio that range from action RPGs to skateboarding to action games with Ninja Gaiden to how do you define Keeper exactly, to the standard setting, first-person shooter with Call of Duty, and also delivering at quality, high Metacritic, and a ton of nominations tonight, as well as across the industry for all the different awards that are being named here at the end of the year. So is this the type of year you've been shooting for?
Well, it's just great to hear you call out, the recognition of just everything we've done this year. You know, as you said, it's about the number of games, right? That cadence, that roadmap is something that we've been striving to hit. So to have the dozen games shipped. But it really is a portfolio, which is, I think, what you're getting at when you sort of outline the edges of that. And I believe that it's a portfolio that stands on its own in broader entertainment. It's really a portfolio unlike anything else out there. We've got such a range of products that, as you say, cover everything from South of Midnight to Minecraft. And it's great to be here at the end of the year and have our teams being recognized with the 10 nominations at the Game Awards. So I'm just so proud of the teams and happy for them to get the recognition. And it does come, as you say, on the end of a year where I think we've delivered on the cadence and also the quality, and it's great to be here.
So in 2025, we saw a number of great games that Xbox and PC players have been enjoying come over to PlayStation, come over to Switch, and doing very well, topping the charts a big chunk of the year. How are you feeling about the reception of Xbox titles on other platforms, as well as what that does for our dev teams?
Well, and you mentioned the dev teams. Really, that is where it starts, which is our teams want to bring these games to more players, open them up so more people can enjoy the stories we create, the worlds that we build, and it's that opening up to a bigger fan base, which is really what drives all that. This week we just released Flight Sim for the PlayStation, and the Flight Sim community has been fantastic, that the way they've welcomed these new players in. Earlier in the year, at the end of October, I was at the Halo Championship Series, where we talked about our work to expand Halo to more platforms there, and the Halo community on site there was also so welcoming. So just to connect those dots from our teams, wanting to reach more players, to bring more people into those worlds, and then the reception by the existing communities, it's really great to see.
And we are actually at the precipice of 2026 now. So we've done a lot of thinking back on 2025, reminiscing and celebrating all of the game experiences that we've had across the board. But when we look to 2026, it's actually our 25th year anniversary, which is really incredible. And we've got a couple games coming out. We've got Fable, we've got Forza Horizon 6, Gears of War E-Day, we have Halo Campaign Evolved. So what can you tell me about when we're going to hear from those games again?
Yeah, well, and you know, to build on what you said, it's so great that we've got this amazing anniversary 25 coming up, and so many of our studios actually are also celebrating anniversaries of their own, some of which, you know, the Bethesda and things like Blizzard go back decades, which is so great. We have got a lot of iconic games that are just so core to what Xbox is about in its history. You mentioned Fable, Halo, Gears of War, all coming up. We've probably got more games than we can talk about in any one forum, and the one that's coming up is our Dev Direct show in January. So we're not going to be able to run the gauntlet on everything that we're shipping in the coming year, but I can tell you we will feature Playground in the upcoming Dev Direct in January. So be sure to check that out, and there'll be more than we can possibly put in that show, but we are going to make sure to highlight what Playground's been working on.
Very much something to look forward to, and really not that far away. The holidays, they come very quickly, and then they are gone even quicker.
Oh, tell me about it, as being on the producing team of that show.
So I want to talk about Call of Duty a little bit. Earlier this week, that team put out a blog post that talked about an upcoming free trial for Black Ops 7. Also talked about some updates in strategy. And then there was also the news of Call of Duty being the #1 title across all of Game Pass for the year of 2025. So from your perspective, what are you seeing with Call of Duty that you can share today?
Well, I'm really proud of what the team delivered, right? With a franchise like that, you've got to stay in it. You've got to keep moving the franchise forward for something, again, that's been with us for decades. The team did such a great job of keeping the franchise going forward, taking risks, and I'm just really proud of what they delivered. Call of Duty is one of the most played games on Xbox this fall, which is fantastic. And we've got Season 1 just came out. I think that franchise is set up as well as any right now in terms of what they've got with ongoing content and what they're going to continue to deliver throughout the year until we hit the next Call of Duty. So I'm just proud of what they've done, and it's really exciting to see what they've got lined up with the coming seasons.
And if you haven't played Black Ops 7 yet, I will say take advantage of that free trial when it comes up, because I've done some of in the campaign, playing co-op with friends, some of the craziest stuff that you would never imagine, and the places it takes you. Really great time, awesome way to spend a weekend.
Yeah, love that co-op's an option. Yes, bring more co-op back.
Yes.
Well, before we bring out the nominees and some of the studio leads for those games to come chat with us about their nominations tonight, would love to ask you one more question, which is, from games this year that weren't from one of your studios, what would you say was your game of the year?
Well, you know, it's great that we've just talked a lot about the passion that comes from our developing teams and the craft that goes into making games. I think a game that shows that so well is Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. So clear that game started as an idea, something that a team had passion about, very well crafted, super well supported by their publisher. And also, you know, our Game Pass team was involved early on with them. So it's just great to see the success that they've had, and I wish them all the best tonight with the award show.
Absolutely, likewise. And it was such a pleasure. We got the chance to fly out to their studio space in Montpellier and work with them for Developer Direct aired earlier this year. And you could really just see their passion, team camaraderie, that singular vision come together. And the investment in their segment, I think, really shined and showed that studio so well, and loved their game too. And just really a rounding success.
Yeah, we have not talked about the ending, so we should do that off camera a little bit later. Yeah,
yes.
I will judge you if we're not in alignment. Okay. Matt, do you mind sticking around? We're actually going to be bringing a number of our nominees through here, and would love to, you can give them the flowers.
Yeah, of course. That's great.
All right, let's do it. Super pleased to welcome Guillaume Provost. You are the studio head and founder of Compulsion Games, as well as Ahmed Best, the performance and voice director for South of Midnight. I know you best as Rue.
Yes.
Awesome performance in South of Midnight. Just kind of stole every scene you were in, if we're being honest. As we hit the end of the year, we're seeing really how South of Midnight really stuck with people, because it came out 8 months ago, I want to say. Landing on a ton of end-of-year awards. The Associated Press, Inverse, Rolling Stone. Actually, there's been a bunch since that. New York Times, I want to say, and quite a few others. BAFTA nomination, I want to say as well. And of course, we are here tonight at Gaming's Marquee Awards to celebrate South of Midnight and its pair of nominations. How you guys doing?
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you work on a project for this long and you see recognition in the fans and you see reactions, genuine reactions to the stories that we tell. Like, there's nothing better as a compliment for a creator. So.
Can I jump in for a second?
Please.
It's so great to be here in LA with you because 7 years ago, when we really kind of first met, it was here in LA when we met to talk about bringing Compulsion games into the Xbox family. For me, it's just great, and I'm very proud to see the culmination of that years later with the launch of South of Midnight. And it's just it's a fun trip down memory lane to be here and kind of connect those dots. So congrats.
Yeah, and you promised me that you would put a big cupola over the studio so that we'd have a chance to grow and do something special, and so thank you for doing that.
Speaking of special, nominated for 2 awards here tonight at the Game Awards. I want to talk about the Games for Impact category. This is a game that, for anyone who's played through it, is really impactful, really memorable. Sometimes you worry about recency bias a little bit, like, oh, it came out early in the year. Will people remember the game when it comes time for recognition at the end of the year? And clearly that was the case. So this Games for Impact category is reserved for titles that are thought-provoking, have a deeper social meaning or message. So how does it feel for the game, for the studio, to be recognized specifically in this way?
So I'd say one of the things that we try doing when we build stories is we build relatable characters with relatable stakes to them. And we touch upon things that are universal in nature. And so in South of Midnight, one of the biggest kind of theme we wanted to push was the theme of empathy and understanding people who may not look like you are. So we have a lot of creatures that have a lot of backstories that Ahmed helped us, craft, where they have a story to them, and you get to understand the humanity to them. And that was one of the core messages we wanted to push through in this game.
Yeah, one of the things that was really important to me as the director was to make sure that empathy really seeped through as a through line, as well as like character traits. And the thing that I loved the most was the art in this movie was just so incredibly impactful. Like, as soon as you saw a character, you felt the character. And I really wanted the action and the motion and the interaction between characters to really permeate through every performance. So regardless of whether you were playing a human or you were playing, Ultima Haha, we wanted everyone to really feel what is in the heart of every character. And everyone just really rose to the occasion, and it really came through.
Ahmed, let's talk about your role a little bit. You wore a couple of different hats here on South of Midnight, not only performing as Rue, as we talked about, but performance and casting director. So what is it like for you to see South of Midnight, all that work recognized here at gaming's biggest awards?
It's really special. I mean, I have to say that Compulsion and Guillaume, they really trusted me and my ideas and allowed me to be as creative as I wanted to be. And that's really, really difficult to find, especially when, you're dealing with something that, you're coming in on, right? Like I came in on this as a lot of the ideas were already in place. So letting me really express my creativity through the work that they had already established was it was an honor for me. It was really, really, really important for me that even if you aren't controlling the direction of the character, you can watch this thing all the way through and you'll feel it. And so that's how we kind of organized the entire performance aspect of this, and getting to see. This is my first time directing motion capture, and my career started in motion capture when there was no such thing as motion capture. So getting to really, work in this realm and really do some impactful work in this realm was like super special to me.
Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. You've performed in video games before, but how did you work with Adrian Ray, Nona Parker-Johnson, who are known for film, for TV, and how did you help them adapt their talent to a very different medium of video games?
For me, working in games is like working in theater and in cinema combined. And because I've directed both, it was really easy for me to find a way to communicate with all the performers and the performances on this medium. It's pretty much just like a 3-dimensional movie. So I didn't really have to adapt or change anything that I usually do in either one of those things. It really was about getting the feeling and talking about the characters and really diving into what they want, what they need, and how they feel and how they want to achieve and evolve.
If I can add a little bit to that, I think one of the big things that we liked working with you on set is in video games, sometimes when you do acting, it's very scripted. There's a lot of direction that's given to the actors, and what we enjoyed, when we were on set with you, is we had the sets, we had the shoots, and then we had time for you to let the different actors and actresses interpret the role in the ways that they wanted to. And to me, that was something that you brought to our team that really felt like it elevated our ability to tell stories. So so thank you for that.
Thank you. I mean, it's such a collaborative thing, and my goal on any set that I'm on is so that everybody can shine. I want to see everyone's best work, and I want to make the environment comfortable enough and safe enough so everybody knows that they can put out any idea, and it'd be a beautiful thing. I learned that from George Lucas doing the Star Wars movies. Like, he just set the tone so that everybody's ideas had as much weight and as much value as his, and I just wanted to continue that.
Let's talk a little bit about the other award South of Midnight is up for tonight, Innovation in Accessibility. So, Guillaume, can you talk about the studio's commitment to ensuring that as many people as possible could enjoy this story?
So to me, it comes down for it's not just making the game for everyone or making sure that everyone could possibly play the game. It's a question of comfort, right? Like the different people experience games in different ways, and so our ability to adapt, especially games that have like a strong component with narrative, and where people, some segments of the population may be really interested in the story. What the team really wanted to build in South of Midnight was an experience that could adapt to each individual person's needs and experiences. And that's something that we do for every one of our games. We look specifically, what's the game? What are the challenges that audiences could have in playing or adapting to the game? And the wider of a net we can cast for us making sure that everyone can experience the game in the way that is most comfortable for them is kind of the through line that we take on all our games.
Matt, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. This is a title where we see this is a category where we see our titles show up quite a bit. Duke the Dark Ages also nominated for Innovation and Accessibility. Forza Motorsport won the award a couple years ago. Is this a top-down directive, or is this something that different studios are really passionate about?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. First, it does start with the passion of the developers. You've got to build games that a wide group of people can play. You've got to bring those people in, and our studios, they put in the hours, and they bring people in, and we bring people in from all different kinds of backgrounds and gameplay and different abilities to come in and just make sure that we're getting it right. Mm-hmm. Because it's one thing to sort of sit in our game studio and think that you're doing it, but you've really got to get out there. So I just give them a ton of the credit for it. And also, it is part of our stated goals across the studios, which is, as Guillaume says, that we really, want to broaden the audience, and we also want as many people as possible to enjoy our games. I love what you said about being able to experience the story and the feelings without even having to play, and maybe that's where you take that to the extreme. But what we're building and the ideas that creators like Guillaume come up with really should come through in any case, which I just love the way that all compiles.
Let's talk about more people playing South of Midnight. Folks on PC, Xbox consoles got to enjoy South of Midnight here in 2025. Here, more people are going to get that chance in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, again, in our discussions internally, we looked at the game, and obviously it's our desire for as many people everywhere in the world to be able to experience all the games that we made. And so the team's been hard at work, and we're looking to bring South of Midnight to the Switch 2 and PlayStation 5 audiences in spring next year.
Very cool. More memories coming to more people, because this is a game I'm still thinking about all these months later, and I can't wait to hear what PlayStation and Nintendo fans get to feel and say when they get to play South of Midnight as well. Cool, gentlemen. Thanks so much. Don't want to hold you back anymore. You've got a lot more interviews, I think, to do. You got the award show tonight. Good luck. Have fun.
2 minutes to get to.
Yeah, glad to have you. All right, we are pleased to be joined now by the head of a studio that is having a legendary year, Fergus Urquhart, Obsidian Entertainment. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fergus, at the beginning of the year, when we were looking at the roadmap, we sort of joked this is going to be the year of Obsidian.
Yeah, sort of the downfall of Obsidian.
Well, it turned out to be the year of Obsidian.
yeah,
So I just want to say congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
And
a lot.
it's just so awesome to have you and your studio and all your teams part of our bigger studio family. And I'm just proud, and it's great to see you recognized here today with the nominations for the awards. And it really has been a great year for Obsidian.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I mean, when we came a part of Microsoft, we always wanted to make role-playing games, and that's what we always did. And to have the support from Microsoft to be able to continue to do what we love and now get, 2 nominations for TGAs, it just kind of all has fit together, which has been amazing.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And as the year is coming to an end, it's funny because when my team and your team were working on what we affectionately called the Obsidian Direct for our
yes.
June showcase double feature moment, we talked a lot about that, about it being a year of Obsidian. Matt, you mentioned that on stage for showcase as well. So now that it's the end of 2025, how's the team feeling about the wrap of the year of Obsidian?
Well, they're getting ready for the 6 games we're going to ship next year. No, I'm just kidding. I think I was just talking with our PR person, Shyla, and she, I think all of us are just literally in this kind of mode right now where we're like, and we're all super looking forward to the holidays. But I think what's amazing, I think for all the studios under all XGS is like the great thing about being a game developer is like once you finish a thing, you just want to go make another thing. So literally as we're sort of like relaxing from all of it, our brains are just spinning about how we can take what we've done over the course of the last 4, 5, and 6 years and just make even better stuff next time.
So I'm a huge RPG player. I've invested over 100 hours, I want to say, across Avowed and the Outer Worlds
Awesome.
2 this year. Thank you, by the way. It's clear I love what you all do. How does it feel that the love was apparently widespread enough that you have 2 games nominated for Best RPG, which I think might be the most stacked category here tonight?
I know, it's pretty amazing. I think what we actually say internally, because we all really love Expedition 33 and, Claire Obscura, and we're like, what we needed to do this year was split the votes so they could win, right? I think that was, it is actually great. I think it sometimes when you're making a game and you're a game developer, it's you kind of, not you're in a dark hole doing it, but you're sometimes wondering, is this going to resonate? Is this going to be something that people love? And so it is just amazing to see that like everything the teams did, and the teams are very independent from each other in a lot of ways, that individually they both made an amazing thing that deserved, or people recognized enough that they would get a nomination at the TGAs.
Obsidian's always been known for its storytelling, its world building, its characters. This is the year that I saw reviewers and players really talk about how good the gameplay felt in Avowed and in the Outer Worlds. I will say, like, the animation of parrying in Avowed, like when you have the shit, like, I was like, I'm not using a magic user this time because it just feels so darn good. So I would love to hear about how you were able to really marry the gameplay and then the things that Obsidian had always been known for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things of where when we look back at like how people talk about our games, it's always amazing to hear how they love our stories and our companions and the dialogue and the quests and reactivity. But there'd always be this like, well, but then the gameplay. Like I play the games for the story, not for the gameplay. And I think also we also looked about like how do we also make sure that we're making games for as many players as possible. And so one of the big things there was third person. So weirdly, one of the things that got us to kind of push more on the gameplay front, particularly in Avowed, was to say we really wanted to support third person. And we didn't want to like half-ass it either. Like we wanted to make sure that when people played it, it wasn't like, oh, I'm feeling a little like weird playing it in first person, so I'll switch to the kind of crappy third person. And I think by saying that, we said, okay, we're really going to make sure that it plays really well. But you're right. What's been amazing is to watch interviews, and I was watching a few episodes of Kind of Funny, and it was someone I would bring up, one of the journalists would bring up about how they just loved the gameplay and the combat in Avowed. And so it was really rewarding to hear that.
Cool.
Well, it's a lot of kudos for everything that the team has accomplished this year so far, but I imagine there's more to come in 2026. So what can you share about what's coming for Avowed, Grounded 2, and for the Outer Worlds 2?
So, I mean, we never stop. I think that's the thing. I mean, the joke internally, I don't know if it's that much of a joke, is one of the things that we always say at Obsidian is to always be shipping. At Obsidian, always be shipping. And so...
It's not a joke, Fergus.
Well, yeah, okay. Anyway, so there's something in there. But anyways, so we... So obviously with Grounded 2 is releasing updates and moving towards 1.0. With Outer Worlds 2, a lot there is to say, hey, what do we learn from what people are saying about the game, adding things in like New Game Plus and other features that people would really like to see. And while we're doing all that, of course, we're looking to what all our teams are going to be doing next.
Very cool.
Well, I think we've got to let you go to get ready for the Game Awards. Congratulations again on the nominations.
Thank you so much.
And we can't wait to see you there soon.
Yeah, very cool. Good to see y'all.
Welcome back. We're here with some incredible talent from id Software, Hugo and Marty, here to rein in 2 nominations for tonight's Game Awards. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Tina, can I just jump in
Please.
for a second? Earlier, we were talking about how the whole process of making a game, there are some games that just start with a vision in the game director's head, and that person has to carry that vision all the way through. And Hugo, I just want to say it's so great to see, what you did with Doom Dark Ages, because talking with you early on, it was so clear you had a picture in your head of what you were trying to do with the game, and it's just been great to see it come to life and be received so well by the fans. It's just a great example of that.
From a Ferrari to a monster truck. That sums up the vision.
Nobody's got the sound bites like you.
Is that a line from Developer Direct earlier this year?
Absolutely.
One of the things we told the team, from an F-22 fighter jet to an Abrams tank, from a Ferrari to a monster truck. Just try to paint that picture for everybody, a simple analogy everybody could follow.
Yeah, you guys do such a great job. I love the Developer Direct segment, just talking about how Doom the Dark Ages is that kind of stand and fight moment.
Yeah.
It's really amazing to have you guys here and talking about that vision come to life in a way that people are recognizing with multiple awards.
Thank you. It's fun to see how people resonate. How it resonates with people. You see people quote that stuff and talk about their experience, and it is, it's rewarding, and it's it very much sticks to exactly what you just said. That you say those things internally, you say them a little bit externally, and then people have that experience, and it really proves things out to people. It's fun.
Yeah, if it works, then you could see that it's sticky. Like people start saying it's stand and fight, and we saw people would make memes of in 2016 it was run and shoot, and Doom Eternal it was jump and shoot, and this one was stand and fight. A lot of people really grabbed onto that, and that was, like he said, core messaging internally that we had throughout the project. So it's good to see that it landed with fans. Good to be here back at the TGAs again. It's been a while. How long has it been?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well deserved, and actually a pretty serendipitous moment, because I think just yesterday
Doom celebrated its 32nd anniversary from original release in 1993.
Yeah,
So
very, very exciting.
Yeah, and you guys are up for this 2025 Doom the Dark Ages edition of the franchise. I mean, 32 years of really making such an impact to the shooter genre. How does it feel to be up for a Best Action Game award?
Super rewarding. I mean, the team at id just does so much work, puts so much heart into it that, you always hope and you like to be part of the conversation. There's a ton of great games this year, but it's amazing. And we did a stream last night on the 32nd. It was really fun to get to talk to some of the fans and interact in that way. But we always do go back and, we do have to thank those original developers. They were such pioneers in the industry, technically, creatively. Just a small team creating something that they thought was going to be fun, and it was a spark, and we owe a lot to them. We always say we stand on the shoulders of giants, and it's just amazing to be part of that legacy and be able to contribute to it with these last 3 games, which we're really proud have all been up for the TGA Best Action Game. So really 3 games in a row from us since the reboot.
Yeah, it feels fantastic. And 390 plus Steam.
Yeah. We care about it all.
Yes,
you have no idea how much this man obsesses over every little
feedback is
number.
important. Yeah, and it's great to get that recognition. I think one of the things that's probably so universal for people about Doom in general, and especially the Dark Ages, is just how good it feels to play. That flow state and the way that you're just smashing through things. It's like a choreography of death. Like you're just so in charge of it. And what's please do. Don't need the credit. But what's even more special about the Dark Ages in 2025 is that you guys introduced all of these modifiers so that people can kind of be the Slayer that they want to be, look at the combat and gameplay modifiers. So I thought that was really an interesting way of taking on difficulty levels and helping people kind of customize it to what they want to experience. But I want to go even further than that, because you guys are up for an Innovation in Accessibility Award and recognition as well. So can you tell me about those features and how you've made Doom accessible to all?
Yeah, it's an honor to be recognized in that category. We didn't set out with that goal. Really, I think it was just about the rule was it had to be good for everyone. Like we weren't catering to any one group. It's just kind of play your way if you have anything that you want to adjust, because we get so much feedback from the fans, and we really wanted to, we balance the different difficulties as to what we feel feels right. But then we give the players a ton of knobs to tune and get it to exactly what they want. The response has been huge. I think the data around it, in terms of, we track data like what people are interacting with, it's huge. Like, everybody messes with it. We saw that internally. I think it's been really fun to see the ways that they play around with it. You would think that making all the projectiles faster that's how people would make the game harder. But actually making them slower but more lethal makes the game a lot harder. There's just so many clever ways that people have messed around with them, and I would just say, like, the footage of people when they crank them all to 200 is insane, and they beat the game on Nightmare, which is unbelievable. So it's been great to see.
Yeah, I love that you can personalize your own challenge, make it more accessible to you, or just try to take the most nightmarish difficulty and add on top of that somehow and reach new heights. It's incredible.
Yeah, and huge credit to, again, the team. It had really bought into both sides of it, from an accessibility perspective and, allowing players to take it on the high side. That work, the UI team, when you start to talk about those things early in dev, you're like, I think that's going to be a lot of work. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work for the UI team. It's a lot of QA. That's kind of one of those things that doesn't get talked about a lot. But when you add that much accessibility, that much variability in how you play the game, from changing to the speed of projectiles to the game speed itself, it really adds a lot of complexity to the testing. So kudos to the team for really going after it, and we're super proud of the award.
Yeah, absolutely. Kudos to the team for taking on something so important to help people. And I saw reception online of just people being gobsmacked at how many things you can tweak. So, yes, share kudos.
After 2 games, we heard it so many times. Oh, I wish I could, it was a little more this, a little more ammo, a little bit of that. I wish the shotgun had a little bit, whatever. And now it's just, a slider away from being exactly what they want it to be. So the response has been really good.
Yeah, and you combine those with some of the visual things we've done for any kind of visual impairment, motor impairment. It all kind of came together as a really, I think, a great package. And it's, like you said, it's been fun to see people play with it and react to playing their first Doom game, or playing their third modern Doom game and making it really difficult. It's been that range has been fantastic.
Or playing the Dark Ages all over again for the 15th time.
There you go.
Different modifiers put on there.
Exactly.
Love that. Well, such a great endeavor. And your work wasn't even done when you released the game in May, because a lot has happened since then. Tons of updates and other things going on. So can we get a recap on what you guys have been up to with the game?
Yeah, we've had a lot going on. We made a bunch of updates. We're kind of, as I said earlier, never rest kind of on making sure the game is really in a perfect state as much as possible. So we made a bunch of updates. Xbox released the ROG Ally X, and I think we really got the game into a good state for that. And then we released a really cool new mode called the Repertorium, which you can probably talk a little bit about.
Well, again, straight from the fans' feedback, they wanted a horde. They wanted an endless horde mode. They wanted to go into an arena and just fight demons till their heart's content. And leveraging a lot of the work that we did with the accessibility sliders, we just kind of combined those two things, and now they could basically make it anything they want. We have some presets that we've made for them, and then we've actually saved some of the community. We gave the community the ability to set up any encounter that they wanted. They would punch in a code, they could save it and share it with their friends, and the fans went nuts with it. It was awesome. It was everything we hoped they'd do. Is they made trailers, they created logos, they were sharing them on Reddit, we had them on our stream, we were showcasing them. So in this recent update, we were actually able to add 3 new slots and pick some of the fan favorites, and so you have 3 id-made horde mode encounters, and then 3 from the fans, and we've got plenty more of that to come. We're going to probably swap them out and update them. I don't know, at a decent frequency. I don't want to make any promises, but so it's been awesome to see their interaction with it, and it just, the response has been fantastic.
Infinite chaos to wreak upon the demons. Yes, I love that. And I think really speaks to how embedded the team is in the community, and just really listening to that feedback and trying to make Doom in a way that speaks to your guys' vision and also the community that you've built over just decades at this point.
Absolutely. We've got just an amazing community. Very, very vocal, very passionate, as you hope a community is. And it's just been fun again to be able to watch them play. And I do want to say, like related to what Matt said about Hugo's vision and being able to like we don't get to do that without their support. That should definitely be part of that statement. You know, we always talk about being able to make these types of games, big budget games, you know, that are, you know, I mean, you have the great saying.
Oh, we get to make an Evil,
wanna steal your quote.
an Evil Dead movie, a sequel to Evil Dead with a Michael Bay budget. That's what it feels like when we make Doom games.
Yeah.
There is a moment where we're like, I can't believe they're letting us get away with this. It's so awesome.
But it takes that investment in the team and the creativity, the belief in the vision, and the vision holders, and really like we can't. We wouldn't be able to get to do it without the support we get from Xbox and the team at ZeniMax. So good moment at an awards to say that and make sure that's acknowledged.
I love that. We were supposed to be here to give you your flowers, not vice versa. That's so sweet. Thank you, guys. Well, I have one last question before I let you go and get ready for the awards and rein in that celebration, which is you've teased a little bit about a DLC. What's that about?
Little bit.
A lot.
We've teased a lot. You want
Tease
teases?
some more, please.
Show up to Slayers Club Live every Thursday night when Hugo talks about things.
Yeah, we stream, and it's now become a tradition that I'll drop them like I'll give them like a dad joke clue. It's a horrible clue, and then they piece it together. And people like Sneaky J Cool and Horde Mode Gaming. These are like big members of the community. They'll put it all together and make videos, try to decipher what it is that we're talking about that's going to be in the DLC. So we have given them a lot of hints. But I will say, like, we're going to learn a lot about the Slayer. I think that's what's really cool. It's goes without saying, it's very much about him, but we're going to learn a little bit more about his past, which I think will be really cool, and answer questions that the fans have had for a while. So it should be fun. And there's a new tool that I think everyone will really enjoy. New bad guys, new AI. So it's going to be new location. So really, that's our core team is working on it. It's not like we have that outsourced or anything. It's just everybody's super dedicated on making it everything it can be right now back at the studio. We can't wait to share it with the fans.
Lots of new. Like it really is more than just kind of remixing the things that were in Dark Ages. For better or worse, it's taking us more than just a couple months to do. But I really do think people who've played the game enjoyed it. They're gonna get a lot of new in what they see in the DLC.
Amazing. Well, looking forward to more Doom: The Dark Ages to come. And otherwise, we're looking forward to also being at the show with you guys later and celebrating for just the great 2025.
Yeah.
So congrats again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for everything.
Yeah. Well, that about wraps it up for the official Xbox podcast episode of the evening. We had such a great time talking to everybody, but we're just about ready for the actual show.
Yeah, I can't wait to go into there. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us today, Fergus, Guillaume, Ahmed Best, Marty, Hugo, and of course, Matt Booty for sharing all kinds of reminiscence of 2025. And I look forward into 2026. And massive thank you to Lazy Dog, who is the closest restaurant to right across the Game Awards, right over there. I want to get as few steps as possible.
Absolutely.
Man. That's always my goal. And thank you for watching. We actually have another episode of the official Xbox podcast coming up real soon. So you're going to want to keep a lookout for that. But in the meantime, enjoy the show tonight, and thanks for watching.